Good evening. The Philippines and the United States conduct joint patrols in the West Philippine Sea. In a social media post, President Bongbong Marcos says the joint maritime and air patrols in the West Philippine Sea are a collaborative effort between the armed forces of the Philippines and the United States Indo-Pacific Command. The President says this effort shows our commitment to bolster the interoperability of our military forces. He says the joint patrols aim to enhance regional security and foster a seamless partnership with the U.S. in safeguarding shared interests. According to Marcos, the joint maritime and air patrols are scheduled to continue until Thursday, November 23. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board says it is willing to meet three of Piston's demands amid a 3-day transportation strike. In a press conference on Tuesday, LTFRB spokesperson Celine Pialago says 3 out of 4 of Piston's demands are doable. According to Pialago, the first is the waiving of penalties for jeepney operators on processing their yearly confirmation fees. The second demand is extending the validity of operators and drivers' franchises from 1 to 5 years, but she notes they should first be part of a cooperative to be granted a 5-year franchise. Lastly, Pialago says the LTFRB is also willing to revise the omnibus franchising guidelines.
Gusto ho nilang alisin, ibasura yung omnibus franchising guidelines, Ang gusto ho ng ating chairman, i-revisit, i-revise. So, yun po yung isa sa mga dahilan ng pagpunta po nila mamaya. So, that's doable also. But, subject po doon sa mga mapag-uusapan nila mamaya at subject po, syempre, sa naaayon po para sa ating mga motorista, sa ating mga pasahero at guidelines din po ng DOTR.
Piston is currently holding a 3-day nationwide transport strike which started on Monday, November 20. This is in protest of the December 31 deadline for the consolidation of traditional public utility vehicles. However, the LTFRB remains firm that it would not scrap the consolidation process, saying this demand was non-negotiable.
The word scrap, that's non-negotiable. But as per our Chairman Guadis, pwede pong i-simplify yung proseso ng consolidation process at yun po yung approved as per our LTFRB Chairman Guadis, pag-simplify. So, out of 4, meron na pong 3 doable, yung isa po non-negotiable.
Several areas in Northern Samar were hit by massive flooding due to non-stop rains. In the provincial capital of Catarman, at least 1,000 persons evacuated on Tuesday after their houses were flooded. Catarman Municipal Information Chief Rachel Arnaiz says the number of affected families is expected to increase since some were still trapped in their houses due to the floods. Arnaiz says data gathering was difficult as the power was down since Monday night. She adds that this is the worst flooding in Catarman in almost 5 decades. Classes and work in Catarman have been cancelled since Monday. The State Weather Bureau says the shear line and the northeast monsoon currently prevail over the Philippines, bringing rains over many parts of the country. The Philippine National Police says DNA samples from the hair strands found in the abandoned car in Batangas City match the DNA samples of missing beauty queen Catherine Camilon's parents. Authorities previously retrieved the hair strands and swabbed the blood stains from a Honda CR-V which matched the description of the vehicle provided by 2 witnesses. The witnesses earlier said they saw Camilon's body being boarded onto the Honda CR-V. In a press briefing, PNP spokesperson Colonel Jean Fajardo discloses that the hair strands recovered from the vehicle matched the DNA profile of Camilon's parents. Meanwhile, Fajardo says identification test results on the blood lifted from the abandoned car are yet to be released. Camilon was reported missing by her family days after the beauty queen disappeared on October 12. Police Major Alan De Castro and 3 other allegedly involved in Camilon's disappearance have been charged with kidnapping and serious illegal detention. Former President Rodrigo Duterte says he will be forced to run again for public office should his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, be impeached. This in response to supposed impeachment talks against the Vice President by some members of the House of Representatives. However, Speaker Martin Romualdez has already denied such rumors, with President Bongbong Marcos insisting that he does not want the Duterte daughter to be impeached. Speaking in a television program, the elder Duterte says he will be forced to run as either vice president or senator if his daughter gets impeached. Duterte initially says he would run as president again, but corrected himself upon remembering that he is not allowed to do so under the law. Meanwhile, the vice president in an ambush interview only had a few words to say about her father's supposed election run.
Kung ano man yung desisyon ni Pangulong Duterte ay buo ang suporta ng pamilya sa kanya. Just like kung ano man yung mga desisyon namin ng mga anak regarding sa politika, buo din yung suporta ng pamilya sa amin. Ganun din ang suporta namin sa desisyon ni Pangulong Duterte.
A social weather station survey reveals that the number of Filipino families who encountered involuntary hunger at least once in the last 3 months decreased to 9.8% in September 2023. September's figure is lower than the 10.4% reported in June 2023. Involuntary hunger rate refers to the percentage of Filipino families who experienced hunger or those who did not have anything to eat at least once in the past 3 months. The pollster says that in September 2023, hunger fell in Visayas and Balance Luzon or areas in Luzon outside Metro Manila. However, the numbers rose slightly in Metro Manila and Mindanao. SWS likewise found the overall hunger rate declined among persons who rated themselves as poor, dropping from 10.8% in June 2023 to 7.7% in September 2023. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. President Bongbong Marcos says Philippines and U.S. began joint patrol in the West Philippine Sea. Areas in Northern Samar hit by massive flooding due to non-stop rains, more than 8,000 individuals evacuated. And Transport Group Manibela announces they will also hold a 3-day transport strike starting tomorrow, November 22. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Nilo Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.